Yeah, they went for the default plant as well. Scream are going to be trading evenly here, and it's still a 3-on-3. But G2 are very close to the bomb site. They've got so much time to work with, including defuse kits on every single member. Shock's going to be walking through that fading smoke, looking for the shot, and Carrigan goes down. Sip going to fall. Dupree in the back lines now in a 1-on-3. He hits a headshot on one, but still another 2 to come. And they know exactly where he is, and they still have time for it. And Dupree falls. Existence to pick up the double kill and make it 8-5 here. G2 starting to show some real promise, I think.
This is looking good, and they've recovered the AWP as well, so that can be placed into hands of Smith this time. They didn't even have to be the team to pick it up, so Device back down to the rifle, of course, very little money on that side beyond the basics that you'd want to be working with. And now let's see what Smiths can bring. He's been a little bit quiet, I guess. You know, he picked up that triple earlier on. He's had a little bit of a quieter game than maybe I'd like, considering he was one of the top-tier players when they last faced off. Now let's see if the AWP makes a difference. Maybe this will switch up the play towards A. Maybe that'll make Astralis think as well, but it looks like we might have the smokes being put down towards mid early on, the double smokes there coming through. But then again, shots will hear nothing at this point. No steps, no indication of a mid play, even though there's 3 players dedicated towards it. But now KGB is showing his hand. That means maybe G2's going to be still worried about mid, but there's no one on A at the moment apart from Smith's putting back.
Wow, and Existence actually getting that frag through the smoke up from the vent as well. Smiths goes down. It's a nice shot from Sipnix. He had the perfect angle. Dupree, who has had a very quiet game. I think that's his 4th kill of this first 14 rounds, so it's about time that something happens on this front as well. 2 versus 5 or 3, it should be their round, and it is going to be RPK all alone in a 1-on-3. And this time the plan is out in the open as well. It's almost impossible for RPK to do this. He's got a Molotov, so if he could get the kill on, we can smoke off one and actually put the Molotov up in main, to be a little bit interesting.
Kind of curious he put that there, but alright, let's see what you got. Okay. Going for it. Balls of steel from Astralis right now. 4 seconds, 3, and there's the fire. Dupree comes out. I'm surprised he didn't use that molly. Maybe towards Squeaky or main or either two, but not the case. And still, 8-6 to the scoreline. But to be fair, I like that from Astralis. They saw how much presence there was in mid last round. They had 3 players there for G2. This time double smoked it, put just Cajun towards it, kept all those G2 players there, and just kind of exploit the fact that there was very few people hitting that A site apart from Smiths, who probably had the AWP they recovered. So a good read from Astralis, whether they knew it or not, but by this point G2 just still in a good position score-wise.
Look at Existence charging all the way up into main. They've run right past him in the smoke. He turns around, gets the 1 kill in, but he's not aware that Carrigan is also there. So the trade not quite working out in their favor, and Carrigan making his way around the corner, trying to pop flash his way out, and actually he'll be successful in that Scream. In a little bit of trouble, and he ends up going down to Cajun as a refrag, but Shocks, nice tapping away, and now a lot of action already. So we end up in a 2-1-3.
Down to Zipnix and Device, the two who have a lot of potential to bring in this one. Zipnix with a nice angle towards Smiths, takes him away from the side itself, but there's Device covering off. Shocks falls, and that's a great bit of play between the two to clear out the site, leaving just RPK alive. And last time didn't go so well, going to flash out towards mid, maybe try and keep their eyes attention towards that side, but Zipnix already swings into mid and spots these coming from this direction. Surely this could never happen.
Now again, this is a very, very difficult clutch for him to try and pull off. It's a great idea with the flashbang throwing it the other way, but Sip just a little bit too clever with that one. Now PK trying to see if he can make it work, going to get shot in the face. Sipnix picking up a double kill, and we will end it with an 8-7 scoreline, favoring G2, which I think normally you would think this is a great T-half. I mean, it is a great T-half for Astralis, but again, I need to see it before I believe it here.
So okay, let's address the issue. I know you've been hurt in the past, Anders.
Yeah.
You can see you're haunted by the ghosts of Astralis.
Yeah.
But let's kind of talk through what these issues are, because even Yango brought it up. You know, this isn't an unknown point that their CT side does have some flaws to it. You know, and they've shown some real class on the T side. So what's the disparity there in your mind, at least, that causes these kind of problems coming through?
I think the thing is that on a lot of other maps, Astralis have players that are sort of specialist players. So, you know, if we're talking about Mirage, they have Carrigan in the middle, and just, like, generally speaking, they have players that are very good at playing certain positions. On this map, I can't really think of many where I would say, oh yeah, this guy is a fantastic, you know, B or A side player, and that, you know, at least they have that on lockdown. On this map, some of the players we see do really well on a map like this are people who play sort of the NPK corners on the A-bomb site, where it's really hard to find them. They almost always seem to get a trade and maybe then some. I just feel like Astralis, it's not like they're horrible on this map. I just don't think they have any one player who feels super confident in one particular position. RPK was doing a fairly good job, I think, on this first half playing checkered. And a team we're going to watch later today, although not on this map, but Virtus Pro, have Neo, who's very, very good at playing these positions. So you have like some players that are sort of specialists on various maps and various positions. I can't think of many that Astralis are really good with here. So I'm a bit concerned about that.
Yeah, it could be a fact coming through this one. If it does end up kind of coming to the forefront, they're just not quite as well-rounded, let's say. But there we go. So look at the G2. Smith's there with Molly in the smoke. Smoke, flash, and nade for existence. And on the other side, pretty much all armor, barring Device, who's got that kit as well. But at the moment, it looks like a lot of attention early towards this B side of things. Smoke's going to come out, and that's a curious smoke to be put into play.
Oh, Karrigan being dropped there by Shox, who's still got plenty of health and that Glock, and he's just alone as well, which means they don't even have any information about how many people are there. A bit annoying. Looks like they might want to try and see if they could double up here. Cajun and Sip are both going to be peeking against Shox, and they need to get this kill quick as well. Finally going to come through, and that's a smart play from Astralis.
Yeah, and it isn't half-time if you guys are wondering at home. It is actually in-game, so hopefully we can get that taken down for you guys. And it is a 4v4 now, and it looks like G2 are trying to adjust themselves around and head over towards that B side. They do at least have a little bit to clear out. We've still got existence with that nade, but it's Smiths with the molly to find Device, and there we go. The site suddenly becomes theirs. Xyp9x is quick on the cross, but by this point the bomb is going down, and no chance to stop that one. The nade even going to send him back a little further, but doesn't connect perfectly.
Now, I have no idea why the G2 players are so eager to try and peek this. Why not just wait? You're in a 2-on-4. Cajun going to come through with one and get the second one on Smiths, and now it's a 2-on-2, and Cajun moving closer as well. Scream, half health. Cajun just making so much noise, but he's trying to get this kill anyway. He can't finish it off, and Sip now all alone and sandwiched in. It's not a good room to be in. A flashbang to follow it up as well, and he's also running out of time very, very quickly. He looks for the shot, but he is just in an awful position. And Scream going to finish it off, but again, they were so eager to fight early on. There's no reason for them to do that.
It really didn't need to make half of those peaks. Like, you don't need to allow Cajun the chance to be able to do that sort of stuff, and then you put it on a plate to him, and sure, he's going to land some ridiculous things, but are we seeing, surely not the weird CZ buy-up, please? No, okay, it's the weird CZ Deagle buy-up. So Xyp9x, Dupree, going Deagling, Device, staying away from that, because, you know, USPS. And the two CZs now, it works occasionally, but this time no armor to boot with it. They have very little money into this one. And you can see the amount of SMGs coming out for G2.
Scream, hoping for a shot in the middle, but not going to get it. That Molotov in the corner by Sandbags, was that? I'm not sure if that was a perfect one. Either way, Shox and Sip about to have a bit of a run-in, and from the looks of it, Shox would come out a lot on top here. I don't think Sip is going to be taking that corner at all.
Click isn't gonna work, and Shox just holds down the trigger, and Xyp9x falls. It's gonna be down to this B play maybe coming through here, and Dupree actually does catch existence a little then, but don't Scream, but it doesn't really matter by this point. The last two are left were a mile away, and Device sadly, as much as he may pray to hit one more bullet, then can't quite get it done, and RPK stays alive on that 4 HP. The bomb goes down, and G2 now 10-7. Looking pretty well set here, and we're going to see the double eco as well, or, you know, to an extent, coming out for Astralis. Not much to do.
I do like this, though. You know, 3 HE grenades, a couple of flashbangs.
Yep.
Why not, really? I'm wondering if it's going to... I mean, it is not likely that you'll get a lot of kills behind it, and they're all going to throw it on top of the boost, so we can kind of tell that not much happened. But still, I think it's a worthwhile investment. Sip to pick up a kill, and Existence in the middle taking a little bit of damage, but nothing significant. So it is going to be an easy round here for G2.
Yeah, it's Karrigan's just, I think he knows his fate is pretty much sealed there. His Existence is going to get the last, and his G2 starting to get a little buff for themselves here on this scoreboard. But then again, we want to see this buy coming out. This is what we want to keep our eyes on. Device instantly going onto the AWP. This is a very, very different stance, I guess you could call it, to how he played on that T side, almost kind of negating the AWP's presence. Now, I wonder if Smiths goes for it. No. straight on towards the rifle. So we got the Matin on RPK still. This is a very curious one, but then again, you know, Dupree and Device both don't have head armor, so maybe they could try and work something out on that, but locating them and finding that out is a different ordeal. But then again, G2 are looking at B.
A bit annoying for Astralis, because they actually wanted to blow out the vents when they run in. They want to wallbang the vents out so that the T's can't hear it, and apparently they missed the shot, so now they're kind of just waiting here instead. Oh, it's dangerous. Smiths can actually almost be spotted there. Gets them into the other angle, but now so many smoke grenades running in, and Device leaving Cajun behind, just saying you're on your own, gonna miss that shot, and yeah, they should run. There's no reason to try and retake this. They don't have the money to buy if they fail it. That was just so quick from G2, I don't think Astralis were ready for it.
Yeah, it was like that scene in the Titanic, it's like, don't let go, and yeah, ouch. Cajun B gets left behind, and Device does at least get stay away, but it was just so quick and relentless. I love that from G2, literally. It was like, okay, well, even though there's players there, they just power through the smokes, the flashes, so on point. They took the fight with Cajun B. I think it was Scream who got it. It was just so heavy hitting, there was nothing they could do by that time.
It's one of those things where you have to imagine as well, from Astralis point of view, it's so disappointing because you're thinking, we'll blow up, we'll shoot out the vents, we'll boost one guy up there, and then the AWP will be left alone. And if anything comes through, then we have like some sort of crossfire. Because that fails and they hesitate, then they're trapped within the middle of that execute. It's just a really weird spot. That was just a weird round for Astralis. I think actually so much was based on that vent play that they couldn't make work.
Oh, it's a real shame. Real shame. So, what if they go back to it again, actually? See if they give it another try out.
Yeah, maybe try with something that's not a USP to try and shoot out the vents.
Do they try it from behind the...
Yeah, because you do right here.
Oh, I remember seeing Christian doing it the first time ever.
Look how far away the T's are when they do that. So the T's can't hear the vent going out, so that might...
Did they fail it again?
It could have been that they did.
I'm pretty sure I just heard it break later on, but they're sticking to it this time. They're like, alright, screw it, we've made it this far, but this is again the same thing from G2. I want to see if they go for that blistering pace for the back. It's the same setup.
The grenades coming out here. Device again saying, Cajun, just you're on your own. I'm not even going to play this game. Playing at the edge of the smoke, missing the shot and going down. Cajun coming up from behind. They do line up for me. Almost gets that triple, in fact. And he will make it a double, and that's better than nothing. Now it's a 3-on-3. And this time Astralis probably feel like it's time to go for the retake here. And Dupree, if they spot out where Scream is in that corner by Checkered, they could wallbang him down instead of just killing him from the vents. Oh, he's actually on the other side. I thought he was maybe in the corner by Checkered, but now this is even worse for Astralis. Scream gonna go for the fight. Takes down Sipnix. Carry gonna fall as well. Dupree gonna be going down. That's a quad kill for Scream. And a 13-7 scoreline here. G2 just powering through. Scream with 25 kills. Absolutely
lovely play towards B again. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think they failed that CT smoke as well, which could have been deadly. You know, Device was just on the verge of it. You know, he was in a good spot. But if he'd just made it back a second further, he could have maybe played that cross. But still, you know, it seems that G2 have got this beautiful play coming down. And we haven't seen anything else out of the book of tricks. And we all know Existence will certainly have a couple of tricks up his sleeve. But that is a really nice bit of play. So I'm hoping we get to see more of that sort of element from G2 here as they look like they're trying something different this time.
Yeah, what is it going to be? This time they're spread out so far, and what's sort of a default here to just try and make sure that no one is going to push them anywhere, and that they're not going to be tricked. Looks like they're going to try and Molotov out the vents early on, and Astralis haven't been trying to get people up there, so you can't really blame them for wanting to be a bit safe on that front. Device in a good position with that AWP in the middle, and Smith has his on the other side too. Grenades raining in. Still more than a minute left, and can they actually make it out here? Smoke is definitely not complete, but oh, it's a nice shot from Device to take down the top fragger.
There we go. So already a lot of kills going for Astralis this time. Smiths and Existence are the last two alive standing, so you're going to see the swing out. And to be fair, Astralis this time just said no. I think it's almost like a team ace here. If who's the last one? Dupree needs to get the kill. Let Dupree get the kill just for my sake. Alright, Smiths punishes Carrigan at least, but 1 HP. This could be it. It could be the perfect team ace.
Yes.
And it is. I love that.
Get your wish.
I love that. I love it.
And they had the option for a double up setup, but they decided not to go for it. And I don't blame them, because it's so hard to retake on this map. It's sort of possible on the A-bomb side, but imagine retaking B with 2 AWPs. It's no fun.
Nope. Not fun at all. But let's kind of review the squad. You know, it's 13-8. We've got G2 starting to, maybe not look comfortable, but they've got a really strong B default, not default, but a B play to fall back to. Their default looks a little bit weak, but I'm wondering if they're going to start depending on that in these rounds as it does get a little bit later into the day, but they can always fake that out and try and really cause an overcommitment towards B from Astralis. I'm hoping we see a little bit of mind games coming through on that one, but RPK and Scream looking like they want to go and maybe try that again. The volley comes in, so it's looking very similar to the play coming through, but it's not quite the same piece. It's close, but not quite the same. Now, Dupree's in a different spot this time. It's only Cage and B at the forefront, and Device, but Scream finds both of them right in the smokes, just on the verges of it, and they play it so well again. Device now smoked out. That site is theirs, and I've not seen a team look this proficient in taking that B site in a long time.
No, and there's some really weird stuff that's happening here as well. I think Dupree actually wanted to run all the way through the smoke. I don't think he was intending to just sort of stay around, because that would have been an asinine play. So instead, he got trapped sort of on the corner, and it works out quite heavily in against him. So they're getting some really good cleanup in here, but this is obviously a bit worrying. They just can't obviously defend B. They don't know what the setup is, and the problem is you can't put 3 people here. This is not an option. Like, putting 3 people in B would be some real madness. So I don't know what they need to do. You can go aggressive, but then you'd be pushing right into like 3 or 4 G2 members. And
that's the thing, right? So they tried Device there with the AWP, which was just kind of by almost not bad luck, but he was there the first time, and he kept the AWP in play a couple of times after that, and that didn't really work for them. So they've tried the AWP there. Obviously he gets kind of put out, but I'd almost like to see someone try and play the CT kind of position, because I thought it was a failed smoke. It isn't. It kind of lands kind of by headshot almost, but it does leave a gap by CT. Now, of course, they probably got a plan in mind, a play in mind as to how to kind of negate that there's a fact that there is a small piece missing, but maybe Astralis looking like they might have to play someone back in CT, maybe not as be present in towards those into checkers. But I like this from G2, and the thing is, we haven't even seen like a straight A play. We haven't even seen a full buy up round with guns, with smokes, with everything in play towards A. It's been all kind of a couple of hits towards mid, maybe some defaults, just working off the picks. But these B hits have been absolutely flawless.
Yeah, and because of how much they use grenades to clear out checkered, or the parts of it they don't clear out, they simply smoke out. It's really hard for Astralis to set up like a proper defense right now. And even when they put up counter grenades, they will still play almost 2 versus 5 or 2 versus 4 in there. It's hard to get good enough counter grenades in that you could kill 4 people like that. Yeah. So they're just running into some really hard pressure right now. And they're running out of rounds. I mean, right now, G2 are 2 rounds away from winning here against Astralis. And again, think about the first half that they had. 7 rounds on the T side. That looks like you're about to be just in a great position.
You're good, yeah. I don't know. Kind of not the norm on this. 14-8 though. Astralis going to go back into this one, and we will be seeing the B test coming out again from G2. That's what I'm curious about. Is that going to be another play coming out? And how they're just switching up. Dupree's take a different angle. He's going to be sitting up above. The same smoke comes in. He's going to commit down to this and spray into it. But already, G2 just hit the brakes, slow it down.
There's only one person in the middle. I thought for a moment they were going to try and sort of double stack middle and only leave one person in A. Simply play A almost as a retake. It's not impossible, it would mean that they would be much faster on the rotate to B right now. Looks like the bomb is still over behind the B bomber side, so they're just faking a bit of aggression, making a noise. Yeah, the same exact execute. Smoke going up to Pre. This time he's playing on a better side of it, and he doesn't have to run through. He gets a double kill in. It's a favourable trade finally for them.
Really impressive as well, mid-game to be able to adapt towards that sort of thing, read the smokes, understand the plays coming through. But now look at it. They've got 2 players over towards B. Now Xyp9x has to be the linchpin here. He has to stop them, be able to push out, but Scream spots out the gun, and suddenly the map becomes open. There's still 50 seconds available, and G2 have a chance here, but it's a 2v2. Device has to understand what's going on here. It's the race towards A. I think one player's going to get out on A if they went straight for it. They've gone towards Forklift, and it is Shox. Scream's taking the long route round with the bomb.
And that means he can walk right in and put it down. Yeah, I was going to say, don't at least put it on the corner. He's going to plant default. Try and make sure he doesn't get picked off. And Shox just crouching, hoping that someone's going to give him a big opening. Cajun coming up highway. They do have a kit on Cajun, so it's a bit critical if he ever goes down exactly where that is. Device trying to look for the opening shots there, revealing himself, and he gets dropped, but then comes Scream with 2 kills. Another quad kill here, making it to match point here for G2. That's 31 kills in a lot less rounds. It's incredible.
Yeah, statistically overall for G2 on this map, Scream is one of the best players. Recently we've seen upturns from a couple of Shocks coming in, Smith's having a couple of good games, but it's been Scream. This guy, a very flat map. The headshots seem to be a little easier to hit in case he needed help at any point. I don't think he does, but those beats he's been hitting doubles every time, opening it up, clearing it out. Now Astralis just down to these CZs, and Scream looks confident. He wants to go walkabouts. Look at him, he's just straight up there in mid, peeking directly, knowing these guys are going to be struggling. Karrigan gets flashed and held. That is one of the only gun they really had out of the game.
Yeah, so like I was saying, we've seen it time and again. Even if Astralis had got 10 rounds on the first half here, they got 7, but if they got another 3, this still would not make this an impressive. We'd be looking at like an 11, 13, 12 type scoreline, still favoring G2. So I don't know what it takes for Astralis to win the CT side of Cash, but it's been so many games where something like this has happened, where they seem to have a good T side, and the CT side just does not work.
And it's going to possibly come down to another of these B hits. dupreeh's going to be hating this after having such a tough time and such a rough road dealing with Existence and the boys pouring in. But he's going to find RPK at least, and I say Existence, and he's the one finding the double to just really open this side back up to it. And there's just Xyp9x left alive, has the rifle, but what can he do with 40 seconds, 3 to find, bomb going down.
Still no death threes.
Maybe it's the clutch, or maybe it's just been fixed. I don't know.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say it's definitely not going to be the clutch.
Oh, come on, I believe in it.
the Molotov as well. They're making absolutely sure this is not going to happen. At least he's not doing a Cajun and walking into the fire, but yeah, he's going to go down to Smiths, and that will be a really great performance from G2. Well played. They did get crushed on Inferno, but they come back with an even bigger win themselves on Cash. Very well.